Hello friends, it's me Karen and welcome to today's video. Today I'm in Cleveland at the Cleveland Cemetery, and this is on the corner of Russell and Clark Street. So this is, I'll just scan around. So that's the corner down there. So we're on Clark Street here, and at the corner is Russell Street. So we're going to do a little cemetery walk today. So it's cemetery walks with Karen. And before we go in, because I'm at the back entrance, the main entrance is down that way on Russell Street, where you can come into the cemetery on the main road there. So this is the side road, and I'm going to talk about the Lychgate. So this is the Lychgate here. Isn't that awesome? So let's go over, and there's a little board here, and I'll read that to you. The road is quite busy, so hopefully you can hear me. Okay, so this is the information board here. So this is the Cleveland Cemetery, and it's the Lychgate and Randall Walls and Gardens. And this is George Randall here. George Randall Sr. And that photograph was taken about 1901. So the Cleveland Cemetery was established about 1873. So this is the second cemetery in Cleveland. The first cemetery is the Pioneer Cemetery. And if you want to go back, you can pop back and have a look at a very short video of that cemetery that I have. Okay, so this is the Lychgate. So I'll show you the photo, and this is also the Lychgate here. This photo excuse me. So we are on a busy road, and there's also the mower man. The contractors are here, so they do have their whippersnipper going and their blower. So this photo here is a group of men, including Reverend Cyril Massey from the cemetery trustees, standing in front of the Lychgate at Cleveland Cemetery in 1927. Wow, that's an awesome photo. Alright, so let's have a read of the board here. Okay, so it says, the Lychgate and Randall Walls and Gardens in this cemetery are in memory of early Redlands Coast settlers George Randall, his wife Naomi, and their two sons Richard John and George Jr. George Jr. served as a Redlandshire councillor for a number of years until 1924, when he died in office. George and Naomi Randall immigrated from England to Brisbane in 1868. Soon after the Randalls arrived from England, they opened a small general store in South Brisbane. In 1881, George was appointed as Queensland's immigration lecturer in England, and he spent 21 years shaping immigration policy and encouraging farmers to immigrate to Queensland. In 1896, George bought land at Birkdale and lived in his home there, Summersby Grange, which he had relocated from Highgate Hill. Summersby Grange is still standing on Birkdale Road and owned by the Randall family. Wow, that's great history. Having outlived his wife and children, George commissioned a Lychgate for Cleveland Cemetery in his memory. Inspiration for the Lychgate design came from an etching by Richard, who was an artist. James Campbell and Sons prepared the plans for the Lychgate, and Mr. B. Glenn of Thornside erected it at the cemetery. Consisting of massive timbers roofed with terracotta tiles and flanked by panels of fencing, the Lychgate was formerly handed over to trustees at a cemetery at which Mr. G.J. Walter, chairman of Redlandshire Council, promised to endeavour to maintain the cemetery with the standard that was implied by the gift. The term Lychgate is derived from the Old English word corpse, meaning lich, and was typically the covered entrance to a churchyard or burial ground. It provided shelter for the burial party and for the priest to receive the corpse. Wow, that's awesome history about the Lychgate. So we'll have one last look at George Randall's photo. And then I'll step back and we'll just have a look at the Lychgate, and then we will go in and have a cemetery walk, and I will also take you to see their grave as well. Okay, so that's the Lychgate. Wow, that's awesome, and it's still standing today. So it has the terracotta tiles at the top and the awesome timber frame. It has the gates there, and that's where the horse and cart would come in, stop under the roof, and where it would be presented to the priest. Wow, that's just awesome. It's got a little wall here as well. There is a little plaque at the top. I'll see if I can have a look at that and read that. So there is a plaque up there, and it says, "This Lychgate has been erected in memory of George Randall, his wife Naomi, and their 2 sons, Richard John and George Jr. Also in grateful acknowledgement to Queensland and its immortal pioneers." Awesome. Awesome gates. Alright, so let's go in over here. This goes in. Okay. Alright, so this is a ash wall here as well. This is the entrance on Clark Street. There's also a wall over here for ashes as well. Okay, that's got monumental headstones in this section. Some of them are very old, especially along the path here, and there are some newer ones. There's also ash gardens here and ash walls. There's also a seating area here. More ash walls down here as well. And then this path leads down to the entrance on Russell Street. Quite a few ash walls. They also have the rosemary growing here as well as a hedge around the border. And then this is another section on this side. And then down there on the road where you come in, there's another section down there as well. That's more of the newer graves down there. So the older graves are up here to the back of the cemetery. Oh, look at those beautiful sunflowers. Okay, we can get another view of the Lychgate from here. Up there at the end of the path. This is an ash garden here. More ash walls. And this one here, look at this one. Isn't this awesome? Beautiful Celtic cross. Let's just read this one while we're walking up to the Randall grave. That's for Arthur Richard Mead. Not sure when he passed away. A bit hard to read that one. There's the Lychgate. Okay, let's go up here, this aisle. Beautiful cross here for James Sidney, can't read the surname, born June 1859, died March 1901. That's an awesome cross. A large plot here, family plot, no name. This one here is in memory of John Marriage, who died Toowoomba, February 1907, in his 76th year. And this one says Isabel, I think, beloved wife of John Marriage, who fell asleep June 1901. Percy Wallace, died 1901. There's a little cross up there. This one is Edward Key Ring, aged 56 years, died, not sure what year that is. Wow, look at this one. Wow, that's a solid headstone. Wow, look at that. That's made out of sandstone. It's got the cross at the top, but I can't read the name on that one. Okay, look at this one. There's no name on this one, but this is what I was talking about the other day. These are the terracotta tiles. Just a different, it's got like the rope design, different design. So this would be a grave for somebody way back in the early 1900s. That was the terracotta tile that was also at the Redland Bay Cemetery. If you haven't seen that cemetery walk at the Redland Bay Cemetery, pop back and have a look at that one. I'll show you the tiles, the terracotta tiles in that one as well. Okay, so this is the Randall grave here. Actually, I'll just step back so we can see it. Okay, it's very large, so it's a family plot. It's got the little pillars on each corner and at each interval. And it's got the broken column representing a life taken too short or too early. It has the ivy vine or the ivy leaf around it as well. Very large, awesome headstone. So we'll read this large one first. This is for their son. So this is for, and it says, in memorandum for Richard John, beloved son of George and Naomi Randall, born South Brisbane, February the 5th, 1869. Died Birkdale, October 15th, 1906. Our lovable, generous-minded, happy soul. Prize winner, all art sections, Brisbane Technical College. Studied under Professor Herkimer at Bushy Art Schools in England. Won scholarship and was made life member. Exhibitor by selection, Royal Academy, London 1895 and 1907. Represented in National Art Gallery, New South Wales, Sydney 1904 by trustees' purchase. Also, Glasgow Exhibition 1901, British Colonial Art Exhibition London 1902, and left at his studio a large collection of unexhibited pictures embracing English and Australian scenery. Wow. And the little plaque at the bottom says, the Randall family gathered here on the 15th of October 2006 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the death of the artist Richard John Randall. That's awesome. That's an awesome headstone and memorial to Richard John, son of George and Naomi. Wow, that's awesome. And so this is George Randall, who commissioned the Lychgate, who donated all of the items as well. So let's read his. It says, I know this one's Naomi, that's the wife, and this is George here on the end. So in memory of George Randall, born Hertford, Hertfordshire, 9th of February 1844, died Brisbane 5th of July 1930, a gentleman of England. And this is his wife. So in memory of Naomi, beloved wife of George Randall, born Anwick, Lincolnshire, September 24th, 21, died Birkdale, July 7th, 1915, a loyal, helpful wife and devoted mother. Okay, so if you see their headstones, they're made out of marble, and if you can see on the side there, that's a scroll. See how it's all scrolled over to represent the paper scroll. And there's also writing on the side here as well. Down the bottom there's a plaque and it says, this Lychgate has been erected by George Randall in memory of his wife Naomi and their two sons, Richard John and George Jr., also in grateful acknowledgement to Queensland and its immortal pioneers. And there's also a saying on the side of the headstone there. But that's just awesome. So this is where George Randall Sr. and his wife and his son are buried here. Okay, now the other son is also buried in here, and I think if we go this way, if I can remember, I'll go this way. Here's a small cross. This is a large family grave here as well. This is awesome headstone. Let's read this one on our way to the other one. Sacred to the memory of Anne Taylor, second daughter of the late William and Ellen Taylor, who died November 6, 1921 in her 76th year, safe in God's keeping. Also her eldest sister, Ellen Taylor, who died 5th November 1924 in her 80th year. Peace, perfect peace. Also her youngest sister, Elizabeth Hope Taylor, who died November 23rd, 1931 in her 80th year. Everlasting arms. Wow. That's an awesome headstone. That's huge. Wow, very nice. Let's have a look at this one up here, the cross. See if I can read this one. In loving memory of, it looks like Donald Alexander Ross, born August 1859, died September 1927. Also his wife Isabella Margaret Ross died July 1946, aged 72 years. Dearly remembered. Okay, let's go back down the walkway here, because I think the other Randall grave is over here. We'll just read a couple on our way past. Victor Ernest Dixon died 1926, age 40 years, and Harriet Dixon died 1966, age 78 years. Another large double plot. In loving memory of our dear parents, Herman Holzaffel died 11th of May 1926, age 82 years, and Anna Katharina Holzaffel died 5th of December 1925, age 77 years. Rest in peace. Holzaffel is one of the pioneering families from the Mount Cotton area, the Redland Bay, Mount Cotton. Awesome. Okay, so this is the other Randall grave here. It has the awesome half Celtic cross. It has been painted white, and it's very large as well. So this is their other son buried here. So let's read this one. So it says, the most loving memory of George Randall Jr., the dearly beloved husband of Harriet Randall, born 31st of August 1871, died 31st of September 1924, leaving a grief-stricken family and a disconsolate father, sorrowing in their irreparable loss. For some years, member of the Cleveland Shire Council and of other local activities, a citizen who was an asset to his country. Not all regret thy face will shine upon me while I must align, and that dear voice I must have known will speak to me of me and mine. Okay, there's also a plaque there. I'm not sure if I can read that. Margaret, Stephen and Owen were here to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the birth of their father, Sir Richard John Randall, Secretary of the Commonwealth Treasury, son of George and Harriet. Okay, and then on the side here is in loving memory of Albert Joe Randall, died 19th of the 7th, 1963, aged 48 years, sadly missed. And then on this side we have another plaque, and this says, in loving memory of baby Randall, beloved infant son of John and Gloria, died 15th of the 9th, 1964, sadly missed. Okay. So that's a little bit of the Randall graves here at the Cleveland Cemetery. And the Randall family is connected to the Lychgate. Okay, let's go back up here. Let's go over here and we'll have a look at this very large headstone here. I'll read this one as we go past. But this is for, in loving memory of my dear husband and father, William Ramsey, died December 1932, aged 44. Also his wife, my mother, and our grandmother, Jessie Agnes Ramsey, died 28th of December 1967, aged 75 years. They both died in December. Okay, let's have a look at this one. It's got the Celtic cross. Okay, let's see if I can read this one. So, in loving memory of my dear husband and father, our father and grandfather, George John Walter, died January 1944, aged 76 years. Also, our dear mother and grandmother, Agnes Walter, died December 1961, aged 89 years. And their daughter, Christina Mitchell, died December 1983, aged 88 years. And their son-in-law, Percy Mitchell, died 1968, aged 73 years. Okay, let's go up this aisle. Okay, George Kettle died September 1933, aged 62 years, and Mary Kettle died 1941, 67 years. Alan Thomas Clark, Daphne Lillian Gordon, Nee Trundle, that's Trundle grave. Okay, we'll just go back up here, up this walkway here. KG Conway, Army Training Team, Vietnam, died 1964, aged 35 years. So this cemetery was established in 1873 after the first pioneer cemetery was established. The first pioneer cemetery was established in 1860. So we'll end down here on this little grave. And this is for Herbert Leslie, dearly loved eldest son of Herbert and Lucy Bond, died at Cleveland in 1884, aged 2 years and 7 months. Beautiful. Has the wrought iron around it. Just awesome. Okay. I'll end the video here. Thank you for joining me on today's walk at the Cleveland Cemetery to see the Lychgate that George Randall had donated. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Until next time. Bye everybody. Bye.